Hey guys, welcome back to Toxic Till the End. If you are new here, this is where we dive into those messy, life-changing moments, the ones that shaped us, broke us, and in the end, made us stronger. If you haven't checked out the first episode yet, I highly recommend you do because today we're picking up right where we left off. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let me take you through the story. So after my so-called friends kicked me out of the group, I felt completely alone. I mean, everyone in the youth group already had their cliques, and I just didn't belong anywhere anymore. I still went to Sunday school, but it was weird, especially with Layla and Annie there. They never sat near me and never talked to me. They acted like I didn't exist, and you know what? That hurt. And, people started asking questions too. They'd come up to me all curious, like, what happened? Why aren't you guys hanging out anymore? And honestly, I didn't know what to say. Do I tell them the truth? Do I brush it off like it didn't matter? I wasn't ready to explain it over and over again. Then, out of nowhere, I get this call from Katie. Remember Katie? She's the older friend who went to pick up the CD for me. Well, the way she sounded when she called me, I knew something was up. She hesitated for a second before she finally said it. So she told me about the lost CD. And you guys, the CD, the same one that caused all this drama. The reason I was basically exiled. And guess what? Turns out her brother was the one who took it. I was furious. Like, I had asked him straight up multiple times if he had taken it. And every single time I asked him, he would look me in the eyes and lie to me and said no, that he never saw it, he never touched it. But no, the truth was he found it, played it in the CD player, and then just left it in there. And he acted like it was no big deal. So meanwhile, my entire friendship with Layla and Annie had crumbled over this. I was like, you have to go and tell them. You have to come clean what you did, because I felt like they deserve to know what really happened. But, I have no idea if he ever went to confront them about it. And for me, I never got around to telling them myself either, because at that point, it felt pointless. The damage was done and there was no going back, because it sounded like they were set on not being friends with me. They didn't want anything to do with me. And so I felt like, you know what? It already happened. Why go back and try to stir things up again? So I just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to let it go and let it be. And so, yeah, losing friends like that, especially when it wasn't even my fault, it was rough. But looking back now, I see it differently, because it taught me something important about friendship. I don't regret losing them. What I regret is believing they were real friends in the first place. But here's what I've learned. Sometimes the hardest situations show us exactly what we need to see. Losing the wrong people, that just makes space for the right ones. So if you're going through something like this, just know that you are stronger than you think, and life has a way of working things out. I know what it feels like to feel abandoned, to have people you trusted turn their backs on you. I was angry. I was hurt. But over time, I realized something. I deserved better. If someone can throw away a friendship that easily, then maybe they weren't your friend to begin with. You get me? And now looking back, I wish I had known then what I know now. When you lose people, especially people you thought you could trust, it's easy to think, what did I do wrong? But you know, sometimes it's not you, sometimes it's them. Friendships, like any friendship, should be built on trust, respect, and loyalty. So if that's missing, then losing them isn't a loss. It's a blessing in disguise. And healing from stuff like this, it's not easy. I know. Some days I felt fine. Other days, the weight of it all hit me like a ton of bricks. But through it all, I learned something huge. I'd rather be alone than be surrounded by fake friends. And trust me, even in adult life, you still stumble across those fake friends. And you have to go back and walk through those steps, relearn again. And if you've ever been in a situation like this, where you were blamed for something you didn't do, where people you trusted completely turned against you, if you have, then you know how hard it is. But let me tell you, this pain, it doesn't last forever. You will move on. You will find better people. And one day you'll look back and be grateful that those fake friendships ended when they did. So, in this moment of reflection, I want you to think about the friendships in your life right now. Are they built on honesty and respect? Do they make you feel seen? Or are you constantly walking on eggshells, afraid that one little mistake will end everything? Because if it's the second one, then maybe it's time to take a step back and ask yourself if those friendships are even worth it. And let's talk about forgiveness for a second. Not for them, but for you. Holding onto anger only hurts you in the long run. It took me a long time to let go of that bitterness, but when I did, I felt so much lighter. And forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean excusing their actions. It just means freeing yourself from the weight of it all. But funny thing is, time has a way of shifting things. So me, Lila, and Annie, we eventually became friends again. There was no dramatic apology, no deep conversation, just an unspoken understanding through our actions. And we moved on. And honestly, that was enough. We could be in the same room again without feeling awkward, without the weight of the past hanging over us. I don't know if they ever reflected on their part in the mess, but I know I did. And that's what mattered to me, because I chose to forgive, not because they asked for it, but because I didn't want to carry that hurt anymore. And that's what moving on really looks like. So if you're struggling to move past a painful friendship breakup, just know that you are not alone. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be mad. But don't let it define you. Use it to grow, to be stronger, to build real friendships moving forward. Alright, you guys, that is it for today. If you've ever been through something similar like my situation, just remember you are not alone. And sometimes losing people is just life's way of making room for the right ones. So until next time, stay strong, stay true, and remember, some friendships are toxic till the end.